planet, Arielle? Didn't ask you that.
I am currently in Boston, Massachusetts, quarantined at home with my family. I typically am in New York City, but given the circumstances, a little different setting right now.
Got out of New York for a little bit. Don't blame
Yes, I did. Thank God. Where are you at in the world?
I'm in Miami. Miami Beach. This is I chose the warmest climate in the United States to live in. So this is
that's home. Very ideal. I'm absolutely like a warm weather, sunshine person. So I'm jealous that you're in Miami. We've kind of had iffy weather here the past few weeks. So
yeah, you guys.
I'm waiting for this summer.
I feel for you guys because you guys winters are much too cold for me.
Oh yeah, we like got snow around like 2 weeks ago here, so that was like crazy. Where it's like it's April. It was the end of April, and like it should not be snowing at this point. So
right, still snowing in April. Interesting. Okay.
Also, there's a little bit of a lag going on. Is the connection good on my end?
It's starting to. I mean, it's not like pausing, but there's been a few like little skips that I've noticed.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit of like pausing and lagging from you, but
okay.
I just want to make sure I can hear you.
You haven't. I always notice it by you haven't. Like you haven't responded slowly in anything that I'm saying, so I think we're okay when it comes to the lag. Okay,
perfect.
That's the only thing that makes it challenging on a podcast is if I think that you're done talking, but there's like just a lag. So like I'm already like chiming in and then yeah.
I know there's always like that awkward like back and forth where it's like, oh wait, what? So technology just gotta surrender to it these days.
I know. I always say that technology always works because the universe wants this information out there. So I have a really good technology story when it comes to these podcasts. Okay, just go.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're live on Instagram now. I've just been letting people see off the live so that some people can tune in right as we're going. You're at Arielle. Tell me your Instagram handle.
At Arielle D'Angelo. So
got it. I remember. Live at Arielle. I remember. D'Angelo.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I like to challenge my memory. It's
also not an easy name to like spell out, so.
Coach and self-love and sexuality coach. Okay, awesome. All right, let's do it. I could spell coach right. There we go. All right, let's do it. Oops, wrong one. One sec. Let me get the tripod set up.
No worries.
All right, guys, starting in 30 seconds. Getting ready to do a live Enlightened conversation with Arielle, who is in Boston currently. All right, let's do it. I always struggle with this little tripod thing. That's always the last thing before I'm ready to record. It's like trying to get this thing set up.
I always just like set my phone on a really interesting surface that I created instead of messing with the whole tripod thing.
It's so much easier. In fact, I'm going to do that because I'm tired of these legs twisting up. All right, let's do it. Doing this for you, for the people, trying to give them a chance to see this.
Yes.
All right, let's start it. Oh, that'll work. Okay. Good. So difficult. All right, that's not going to work. Trying to give you guys a chance on Instagram to see this, but if I can't figure this out, I don't want to keep making everybody wait. So, okay, I think that works. All right, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Hit record. I see the red light. Got it. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Enlightened Conversations. Really excited for today and to introduce you guys to an awesome guest. We have Arielle D'Angelo, who is currently in Boston, Massachusetts. She lives in New York, though, and discovered Arielle not too long ago on Instagram and saw the love and light she was sharing with her community and new station. So I reached out to her, and here we are today. I'm super excited to talk with her. Arielle is a self-love and sexuality coach and works a lot with the LGBTQ community. And just excited to share with her today and just flow some light with you guys and see where the conversation goes. So without further ado from me, I want to introduce you guys to Arielle, and you can share with the audience so they're more familiar with you, who you are, what you do, why you do it, all these good things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Noelle. I'm so honored to be here. So excited to finally be connecting with you live in real time and just, have been watching you over Instagram from afar since we first connected. And, I feel the same about you. It's so amazing to see another soul spreading all this love and light into the world and just trying to raise the vibration of the planet. And I so respect that. And it's amazing to be here with you all. So thank you. I am a self-love and sexuality coach, and I really focus on the LGBTQ community. My mission is to help people in the LGBTQ community live a more empowered and authentic life that's really aligned with their truth and the highest expression of their self. So that's what I've been doing. I'm basically certified in a bunch of different modalities such as neurolinguistic programming, emotional freedom technique, Reiki, hypnotherapy, and I use all of these modalities in my coaching to get my clients the most transformational results really fast. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I do and what I've been up to in the coaching world. But again, I'm so honored to be here and excited to share more of me and what I do with all of you.
I love it and appreciate you for affirming what you affirmed when it comes to being excited to connect with me and what I'm doing. And I just look at us all, Arielle, as just, I know we're all connected. And that's a cliche that gets thrown around. We're all connected. We're all one. I really understand how and what that means. And so it just makes me excited to be co-creating this life with 7.7 billion humans out there, and just wanting to see everybody, thriving and happy and, living life and whatever their truth is, whatever it is that they want to express while they're here. I'm just super excited to see that for everybody out there. So do you hear echo on your end at all?
I do hear a little bit of echo. Let me try to turn my volume down a little and see if that helps.
Okay. Oh yeah. Interesting. I don't. So I can hear. I didn't even know I could hear it. So that's perfect. I'll edit that part out. No, now I can hear. I can hear good now. That's perfect. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Perfect. I can hear you well.
Okay. Sweet. So my question always is for all of us, because all of our journeys are so interesting, and obviously our early years tend to form as what we're doing later in life, and just life in general is just one long, journey as far as the things that we've experienced, whether it be awesome or challenging, has caused us to be who we are today and for us to be on the journeys that we're on. I'm always curious, like for you, just going from like unconditional loving little baby to, what we see here today. Did you always have like the light on where you're just like, I want to help people and just like, I understand who I am and all these things, or was your journey a little bit different than that? I probably assume.
Ooh, that's a very interesting question. I definitely always was someone who was like super sensitive and I think I was an empath from a young age. I just felt things and I wanted to help people, absolutely. But I definitely didn't know my place in the world. And there was so much that I struggled with. And I always tell my clients and just, my different audiences over social media that my darkness, the darkness that I went through, the struggles, the obstacles, the challenges that I faced are what led me to finding my light. So I think especially with being closeted and super confused about my sexuality for such a long time, that was really difficult for me. And I definitely hit my own form of rock bottom before I was really discovered, before I discovered myself, before I discovered what self-love really meant and how I could use that to help other people in their own journeys. But yeah, I think as a young kid, I definitely was always felt very connected to people, wanted to help others, was super sensitive, but then I definitely went through my journey of coming to terms with my sexuality and really being in the mud before I got to the place that I'm at today.
Absolutely. And once you kind of started embracing who you were and started just your self-love journey, I'm always curious and always fascinated how some of us choose to then share with others and wanting to see their lives impacted and uplifted. How did that journey unfold? Because I'm sure that you probably, with some of your clients, are some of them still closeted when they come work with you, or is that is it probably all different places, I would assume, where people are when they come in?
Yeah, you're spot on with that. They're kind of in all different places. So I've had clients come to me. I get a lot of DMs, mainly from kids and teenagers who are closeted and kind of just starting to find their way with their sexuality. And I don't currently work with any kids or teens, but most of my paying clients are either at the beginning of their coming out process or they've recently come out and they are just trying to figure out how to navigate it, or they've been out for a really long time and they realize that they still have this internalized shame, guilt, fear around being a fully expressed version of themselves. So yeah, I guess for me and finding those clients and getting to the place where I knew I wanted to be a coach, like I was saying before, I went through my own darkness and my own challenges around just really struggling with my sexuality and having tons of anxiety and depression around that. I was actually in a very toxic and abusive relationship, and I just had no idea what my place was in the world, and I the last thing that I wanted to be was gay. I just kept burying it and suppressing in my truth at all at that point. And I realized it got to a point where I was I need help, and I need to start reaching out for help because I know this is not the life that I want to be living. And I basically went on this retreat where I learned all about self-love, self-compassion, forgiveness for self and others. And that retreat changed my whole entire life. And I was wow, I know who I am now, and I know that I can live connected to spirit. And that's when I was I want to be in this industry. I want this connection. I want to help people heal and know that it's possible to be and go from totally being in the finding their light and owning it.
I love it. I love it so much. I love being alive in 2020 and beyond because I would assume, I probably know this to be true, before social media and before people could see people like you that are embodying who they are and so many others that are just living their truths. It must have been so much more difficult back when there was no social media for people to just know that there were other people in the world that were experiencing some of the things that they've experienced. And I'm just happy that we're in a time now where people are more and more sharing their truth, no matter what that is. And I feel as a result, everything is becoming really the way that it really is we're all just different expressions of this same non-physical energy, whether you want to call it out there, spirit, God, love, universe, all that is. And we're just different expressions of it. So none of us are any better or worse or, right. It's just different expressions. We've all chosen to come here and have a different journey so that our souls can evolve. And so I'm loving, as we spend more time here together on this earth, that everything is just okay. I mean, it's just, I've always looked at everybody like that, but I just love that people that more and more, on the internet, and I just feel like that's becoming more normal. You see that as well, I'm sure?
Absolutely, and I love what you said about all that. I was actually just saying that to a client earlier today. I'm like, we all picked these journeys for ourselves, no matter how challenging they can be, they're all this journey is teaching me something, and it's helping me to evolve into that, next level version of myself. And it's so interesting. It's the fact that this whole life, I believe, is just an illusion, and it's here to teach us different things and help us evolve and connect to our truth and to others. But yeah, I absolutely found that over social media. I think that it's amazing to see other people on Instagram just living their truth and speaking about their journeys openly. And also recently, I just joined TikTok a couple months ago, and to see all of the LGBTQ teens on there just being authentic and making jokes about their experiences as being LGBT, it's so amazing. And I'm like, holy shit, that would have been so helpful for me when I was a teen. So it's just so amazing to see that. And I'm really grateful, too, that we get to live in this age where we can connect with people from all over the globe that, we would have maybe never otherwise met.
I love it. TikTok is fun. I have a TikTok account as well. I'm personally not on there dancing and doing all that stuff as of yet. However, it's super entertaining to see. I love TikTok. TikTok is fun. Great way to just uplift the vibes. If you want to just have just a quick, you can get stuck in TikTok world though. I've learned.
Oh yes.
So caution out there.
It's a whole rabbit hole. It's a whole rabbit hole.
Well, with algorithms these days on all the social media sites, they learn quickly what you like, and then they just keep serving it to you. So, I've been on there, and I'll see beautiful waves and scenery from around the world, and it just keeps showing me awesome stuff. I'm how do I turn this off? Because if I go back to it, it's not going to be there, so I have to keep going.
I know. I'm with you. It's my weekly struggle as well. I'm okay, I can only spend X amount of time on TikTok, because otherwise I'll be totally sucked into that rabbit hole for the next X amount of hours. But it is really cool to see, what people are doing and the way that they're creatively expressing themselves on that app. So I went into it just not expecting much at all, and now I'm wow, I've met such amazing people from TikTok, and I'm so grateful for that.
I love it. So I'm excited to ask you this question now, because it's. I'll preface it with, it's just language. We have words to describe, different things, and we're doing the best we can to describe really just frequency and energy and what's going on. But when you mentioned being a self-love coach, and you've mentioned it, and do you use, as far as language, a difference with your clients, and just how you share a difference between self-love and self-care? Is there a difference as far as the language that you use and how you share with your clients?
Yeah, so, I think that often, over social media, we see people talking about self-love as, taking a bubble bath, or putting on a face mask, or, getting a massage. And while I do think that that does fall under the umbrella of self-love, for me, self-love goes a whole lot deeper. Not surfacey things, but for me, a bubble bath is just a nice little snack on the side of the whole self-love meal of what that actually consists of for me. So for me, self-love is really getting to know myself and connect with myself in each aspect of myself: my emotional self, my intellectual self, my physical self, my spirit, and really getting in touch with each of those aspects of me, and actually falling in love with myself, and realizing that I am my own best friend, and I am my own life partner, and how can I live with more love, more compassion, and more acceptance for my journey and my own experience. So I really try to help my clients do that through meditation, visualization, different forms of energy release. And yeah, I just find like that I don't know, but I think that it's definitely different for everyone and how you want to view that. But for me, a part of my self-care is meditating. For me, a part of my self-care is journaling. It could also be a bubble bath, but whatever that is for you is just perfect. But I think that really so many people are scared. So many people live their life not being connected to themselves and not loving themselves and not knowing who they truly are. So that's what I really aim to do in my coaching is get people super in touch with themselves and, what they're capable of in this life through living through a place of self-love and self-compassion.
I love it. I love that you distinguish. And again, that's why I prefaced it with this just language. I'll share with the audience. And when I knew that you were a self-love coach, I always take the opportunity to share my version of it, just because I love the distinguishment. And I agree. Like I'll notice on social media a lot of times, and nothing wrong with this. I'd rather you reach to go get a massage or reach outside of you to do something to make you feel better than to reach for something to make you feel worse. So I'm happy that that's the direction that you're going for sure. But a lot of times it's just that I notice people describing self-love as self-care, and a lot of times it's the reaching for things outside of them in order for them to feel a certain way inside. So I've had a horrific week. Like I need to go get a massage to put all this stress behind me. And what ends up happening a lot of times, maybe the massage will lift your frequency. I'm sure that it will. I hope that it does. And at the same time, the same thoughts and vibrations and frequencies that you took with you going into the massage, as the massage subsides and an hour or two passes, now those are still there because you haven't looked within to really, truly, love yourself and be connected with who you are. So for me, self-love is like everything that Arielle described. And like I'm just like a simple human. When I'm connected with who we truly are, all of us truly are, when I'm connected with God, universe, love, all that is, then I'm being everything that Arielle just described, like what she described when she described self-love. Rewind. If we're connected in the moment, and it's only in the moment, and we're never truly disconnected from it because it's who we truly are. It's the non-physical energy flowing through us, and it's who all of us are. So I just simplify it, and it's like I'm loving myself when I'm connected. And if I'm allowing myself to be doubting or blaming myself for others or critical of myself for others or, fearful, angry, upset, depressed, nothing wrong with those frequencies. It's a part of the human experience. It helps us evolve. This is why we came, to experience the entire human experience. And at the same time, in those moments, I'm not loving myself. I'm just not. I'm just in a different frequency. So I just like to simplify it. And then when it comes to self-care, doing the things like externally, awesome. For me, I love going into those things already connected, because if I'm already connected, and I go get a massage, well, now I could be like blissed out during this massage, and then I just leave the massage and I'm just like floating on clouds. It's like, this is awesome. So self-care practices, or if you call them self-love, again, it's just language, whatever practices you do out there that allow your frequency to raise, I highly recommend, because energy and frequency is like infinite. It can go anywhere we allow it to go through momentum. If you go into those experiences already feeling good, just ask yourself, how amazing can this feel? And the answer is infinite. So I love it.
Absolutely. And I love what you said, because, self-love is about like going in and realizing that we have everything we need inside of us and that we don't need anything externally to really fulfill us or make us happy. We have it all in here. But like what you said, like massage is incredibly healing and amazing. And I know that it can help us access our intuition and be more connected to ourselves. And like you said, like when we go into that experience, even it's like if someone's going to come and work with me, I'm an external resource technically. And it's all about going in and being like, okay, I'm going here to do this inward work or to shift something internally. And that's like the same thing with when I do, the more external massage or putting on a face mask or getting acupuncture done. It's like that has the ability to create massive transformation and shifts inside of me but also realizing that like I have the power to do this within myself. Everyone does, without any external help.
Absolutely. What I want for every human on the planet and why I do what I do is just for awareness. Like everything I share is just a reminder for me as well. Because if I'm speaking it like and I'm not living it, then great reminder. Like so, I mean, it has to be congruent. And at the same time, I want for everyone to be able to experience life like Arielle just described, where we can go within and be more than okay. We can be good. You know, we can be at peace. We can be content. And then we can allow the beautiful things that we have externally here, which are so many, whether it's getting coaching or going to do things that you know you enjoy, to just enhance that already peace and calm, to where momentum can carry us up to where now we're having an amazing time. And, you know, words like bliss and euphoria, ecstasy, nirvana wouldn't be enough to describe it if we allow ourselves to do things that we really love, and be present and allow momentum to carry us there. So just a reminder for everybody. I love talking about this topic because it's who we all truly are. Like it's not, you know, Arielle's not the only one that can love herself, and Noel's not the only one that can love himself. Like we all are this, you know, what we're describing.
Absolutely, yes. I love that.
Yeah. You have awesome coaching practice. Anybody that is teaching, this is why I love doing these conversations with all you guys, because I mean, it's as the light bulb comes on for humanity, and you know, however it happens, it can happen in infinite ways. Like that light bulb cannot go off. Like you can't forget things that the things that you're helping your clients become aware of, and just remember, like these are things that they're going to be aware of for the rest of their lives. And whether they choose to, I like to say, once the light bulb is on, we're all of us, like forever, eternally, we're 99% of the way there. The 1% is what we're going to choose in that moment, and that'll always be a choice for all of us. Nobody's permanently enlightened or permanently happy or permanently depressed. Like it's always moment by moment. But the awareness gives us the choice, and that's why I love what you're doing, and you know what everybody out there that is helping people become more aware is doing. So awesome.
Thank you so much, Noel. It's so true, and I always tell my clients too. Like these are tools that you now have for the rest of your life, and you know. What we're doing is we are shifting our subconscious patterning and processing, and we're creating new positive neural pathways in our brain. So it's just about continuing to like exercise that muscle, get more in touch with our intuition, get more connected with ourselves, and make the voice of our spirit a little louder than, you know, that negative monologue voice that, you know, has previously run over and over again in our head. And so I always tell my clients that the more you do this work, you're strengthening the voice of your spirit, you're strengthening your intuition, and you can always come back to these tools, you know, like once you know them, you have them, and if you're not consistent for a little bit, like how can we have compassion for ourselves and not shame ourselves for like, you know, not being consistent with our spiritual practices every now and then, and realize that we always have this to come back to.
I love it. Notice how Arielle said, and it's just a great reminder again, just spiritual practices. All of it is a practice. Like once you have the awareness, like it's a practice for the rest of your life, for all of us. Like none of us are, again, permanently anything. And so I'll give you guys one like personal example, and I was reminded of it today. And there was a big chunk of my life where you would probably consider me to be, it was probably my greatest weakness, just because I wasn't aware of any of the stuff that we're talking about. So I would have been what you would consider a moody person. Like if you were like around me, like in my space, whether you worked with me or one of my teammates when I was playing sports or classmates or whatever, some days I'd be in a really great mood, and some days I'd just be like, don't really feel like dealing with any of you guys, or so I'd just be off and didn't really understand why, but it was mostly determined by the external. It was like if I perceive things to be going good externally, then I'm happy as a result. And if I see things that might be challenging or confusing or, you know, whatever the case may be, then my mood was a little bit off. And I see a lot of human beings living life this way based off of, you look on the news and you're in a bad mood. You know, you look at something that you like, or that's why so many people are reaching on like TikTok and different places for like comedy and like laughter, because they're trying to find external things to make them feel good temporarily, not being aware of what we're describing in this conversation just yet. And nothing wrong with that. I'd rather you reach for that than to reach for something that's going to make you feel crappier, because momentum will just make you feel worse and worse and worse. My point is, what that causes, there'd be some mornings, a lot of mornings, where I would just wake up, and I'm sure everybody out here has experienced this, where we call like waking up on the wrong side of the bed, or you know, whatever the case may be, just in an off mood, just like not really excited, or even worse, like you get woken up by your alarm before you're ready, or something outside of your house that like wakes you up and startles you, and you're just like in a crap mood. Now I've noticed, because it's been a practice. This has been a practice for a decade, as I've become aware, more aware, and more aware, and just been practicing just the frequency that I like to live in, the vibe that I like to be. Which I don't demand of myself to be like blissed out every day or all the time, but I do enjoy like to be at peace, to be chill, to where I know I'm connected and I'm just in tune with the world. Like I can have cool synchronicities, I can have cool ideas, like I'm comfortable with the words coming out of my mouth, because we're never gonna say something that's like a jerk or mean thing to say if we're like truly at peace, if we're truly connected. And so my point is, like today, this morning, like they were doing some construction outside, and it was just a reminder of how far our practice can come. Because I got woken up by construction, and I had the biggest smile on my face. I was just excited to be like alive and awake, and it was just like all good. So like years ago, I would have been like so irritated with that, like what's going on and all these things. So just give yourself credit out there as you watch yourself do these practices, whatever it's important, whatever parts of your life that are important to you, because you will evolve and evolve and evolve if it matters to you, if it's important to you. All of us are going to evolve as long as we're here. So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. It's so true. And just like living, having this awareness and the way that can like impact our daily life, just being more conscious of everything we think, say, and do. And it's really powerful stuff to be like tapped in. And it reminds me of, when I left that first retreat, when I was closeted, and the retreat was called the Hoffman process, and it's what literally changed my life. And after leaving that retreat, they told us to take a few days to just be with ourselves and kind of process all the things the shifts that were happening inside of us and what we had just experienced during that week away, transforming all this crazy stuff. And I remember that next weekend, I just, for the first time in my life, like went on a road trip blown down the coast of California and just kind of like followed my intuition and listened, like had my spirit guide me wherever I needed to be guided. And these synchronicities that happened that next week were absolutely insane. And it's because I was so connected to myself, to source, to the universe around me, and like just open to connecting with new amazing souls. And it's so amazing like what people can encounter when they're living in that place, when they're tapped in and when they're open to, new connections. Like the things will just fall in your lap that just seem too perfect to be true. And it's like, it's very magical. So I love what you're talking about, being in a place where you're living, kind of like chill and zen and open to any of these synchronicities that occur. And like that's like how I really strive to live. And I know that things come up in life, and sometimes we need to feel and process and express. That's a whole part of the process as well. But also knowing that we can always get back to this place of feeling connected and tapped in and empowered.
Absolutely. You just sparked my favorite part of life to talk about and to share and to experience. And I love how you just described that, coming from the retreat and noticing your vibration, your frequency that you were leaving in. You had just received some awesome new awarenesses. You got some excitement, like you have momentum going, where it's like, oh, I see a clear picture of how my life is going and where I'd like to go. And you're just more aware of who you truly are after that. And so your frequency was a match to that, which is a beautiful energy for any of us to experience life in. And then I love how you notice the synchronicities, and I'm so excited to share this with you guys as far as synchronicities go, because life is just a movie. Like I just look at life as just a movie. Like that's just the easiest way that I can describe it. And we can have the things that we desire in our life in all areas, like what we want to see as far as the parts of the movie and all these things. What really determines the plot, like this scene, we're in the scene that we're in right now, is what's our vibe, frequency, energy, mood in this moment is what's going to determine what this scene looks like and how it plays out. I've never heard anyone in my life say that they were in a miserable mood all day and had the best day ever. All these amazing synchronicities and conversations, and never heard that story even once. And don't know if I ever will hear that story. Because what's reflecting out, we like to talk about synchronicities that we really love, things that are like awesome people and events and circumstances and situations and all this stuff. the scenes in the movie that are like the dramatic ones that are like, whoo, that's a rough scene. Like I really hope they make it through. That's just a reflection of, you know, a character that just had a rough day. And we're gonna all have them. We've all had them. We'll have more of them, but it's just a reflection of, you know, what's going on vibrationally. And so what Arielle just described is something that I'm excited for all of us, because the scenes that you want to see in the movie, the awesome love scenes and the awesome like career, like awesome things that are happening as far as everything that you want and desire in your life, you know, reflection and match to your frequency moment by moment by moment. And so just,
Absolutely.
yeah, so my best advice for everybody is just get back to the only thing that really exists for any of us is this moment right here and now. So if you're listening to this right now, you're listening to a podcast. So how can your frequency just rise? And here's the cool thing about energy and frequency. It doesn't just stay stagnant. So right now you're hearing some things. You probably picked up some new awarenesses from Arielle, and you may be saying, can Noelle just let Arielle go back to talking and all these things? And maybe you picked up some things from me as well. But at the same time, if you just allow the frequency to rise and just be present to whatever you're doing that you're enjoying out there, like you'll go from peace and calm. I like being zen. You know what I like even more is being excited about something, being passionate about something, being blissed out of my mind. That's even more fun. And that's just through momentum and being present to whatever it is that we're experiencing. So I love what you described. That's my favorite part of life by far to know, because it just makes it so all of us, we don't have to figure out the scenes of the movie. Like, yeah, if you're an amazing script writer out there, awesome. Like maybe you could, you know, script some things, you know, a little bit, you know, maybe that's passionate for you. I don't want to script out the whole movie. I just want to know the things that I want to experience and then let the universe script it out as far as the how and the when and the where and the who and all of that stuff. So
I absolutely agree with that. And it's so true. It's like the vibe, you know, we put out is like the vibe we're going to attract in our life. So, you know, if we tell the universe, like, I'm open to new amazing connections and people who are also interested in spirituality and like having conscious communities, whatever it is, you're going to meet those people. Like the universe is going to listen. So, you know, basically put out the vibe that you're looking to attract. And a way to do that is to do that inner work. You know, I think also something that I noticed this week within myself is I've been like, you know, working on some new projects, and the other week I was like thinking about a new project I could create, but I was feeling a little clouded and confused. And then I started listening to Glennon Doyle's book, Untamed. And I was just like, I was listening to it on Audible in the mornings, and it was such a beautiful way to start my day. I usually start my day with like meditation and journaling of some sort, walking outside. But like listening to this audiobook and getting these like positive downloads, these really inspiring positive downloads, like just like shifted something in me. And I've been like in this really, what you were just describing, passionate, excited, inspired mood since I started listening to this book. And I'm like, you know what, this is such a good message for all my clients. Like, you know, listen to podcasts, YouTube channels, read books that like make you feel good, and where you are like listening and basically admiring people who you want to like live like, or who you want to be like. So in a neuro-linguistic program, we call it modeling success. So pick a role model that you really respect and admire, and, you know, start paying attention to the way that they do things in their life, and say, how can I incorporate more of that in my life? Like, is a successful person, is someone who feels successful in their business and inspired every day, what are they doing to stay in that frequency of like inspiration and excitement and passion, and then like model that success. So I feel like just like listening to these high vibe like audiobooks, podcasts, like hearing you speak on your Instagram platform, like I've just been trying to latch on to those positive people and these positive messages, and it really makes such a fucking difference. It's awesome.
Really good advice, really great idea for anybody out there. And pay attention to the things that make you feel good, that are raising your frequency, and do more of those things. Like listening to personal growth and personal development has been such a big part of my journey. Even before I became aware of the things that I'm speaking about now, like there was just, from the first time, like I had a mentor over a decade ago share the first book period that I had ever read by choice. And it was just a strong suggestion, and I respected them. So if they're saying read this book, then and it will help you. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna read this book, and thank goodness it was thin. Like, I was able to read it pretty quickly. But from that point on, I just realized what Arielle just described. Like, I just noticed like how I felt while I was like engulfed in that information. I was like, this feels awesome, and like I'm learning new ideas or just being reminded of things that are true to us all. And from that point on, I just always had just a high level of appreciation for people that and authors and now YouTube videos and podcasts and just people from all areas that come into my life that I just feel good when I'm interacting with their material. And it's just a great idea. Like I've fallen back on personal growth, just audios and YouTube videos for so many years, especially if I notice myself, my energy feeling a little bit off. One of my go-tos is just letting something play on my speaker just through the house. I don't have to like just be there taking notes on it, but just having that frequency going around me is just, I notice it lifts my frequency up. And for some of you guys out there, maybe that's walking in nature, as exercising, that's, all these things are awesome for me too. It's just knowing in that moment, if you are aware that maybe your energy is not how you would like it to be, not making yourself wrong for it, because that just will make you feel worse. And, maybe there are some things that your life's trying to show you right there. It's where you can, have some things evolve, and all of it's all good. But just being aware of the things that do make you feel good. Because what I know about life, and as far as the times where I don't feel as good as I would like to, mostly come when I'm confused about something and I'm trying to figure it out from that vibration of confusion. And a lot of times that just makes me feel worse, because it's just like, that's just not a place where you're going to receive answers from the divine. You're not connected with those answers in that moment. And so just being able to realize that, for me, it becomes important to get my frequency back to being at peace, where maybe I could release this thing for a second, maybe not think about it for a second, be connected again. And then a lot of times an idea pops into my mind from that place. And now I can go back to that subject and I'm like, ooh, this is a good idea for this. And now it springs us up into where now we're actually pretty excited to continue on our journey, where if we kind of get stuck in the mud and are trying so hard to figure out how to get stuck in the mud, when really we don't understand that like the solution is there for us. We just have to be ready to receive it and not try so hard maybe in the moment to force our way out of the mud.
Absolutely. I love that. And that's such a good way to put it. And just, a piece of my journey where I can really relate to that is for the past few years now, I started, my journey in like personal development and spiritual development. And when I graduated college, I got certified as a holistic health coach. And after that, I kind of stayed in the mental health industry for a bit, not knowing exactly where I wanted to go next. I knew I wanted to help people, and I knew I wanted it to be around the LGBTQ community, but it was just, trying to figure out how to actually put that into practice. So I was very confused a year and a half ago around the different routes that I could take to help that community. And I was going to apply to school for social work, and I ended up just saying, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go to Cape Town, South Africa. And I love it there. I studied abroad there in college. I feel super connected to it there. It's like a really spiritual place for me. And I was like, I'm going to go there, work in the mental health community there, and then decide what my next steps are from there. And my brain, before I went to Cape Town, I wish I could like have a picture of it, but it was just confused and scattered. And I had so many different, I was very inspired, but my inspiration was kind of all over the place. And the minute I got to Cape Town, all of that just like disappeared. I felt clear for the first time. Just like you're so connected to the present moment, and just like exploring the culture around me, that I just started to get these massive downloads about what I was meant to be doing next. And that was, to get certified as a master practitioner in NLP, hypnotherapy, and life and success coaching. And it was after getting home from Cape Town that I started my business. And I was like, sometimes, we just need to pause, and we need to do that thing that maybe feels really weird and scary and doesn't make sense to other people. But sometimes we just need that space to, connect with nature, connect with ourselves, and create some room for that love and that light and that inspiration to like flow freely in.
I love that. I'm happy you mentioned Cape Town, and that you have strong feelings towards it. I've been affirming. I just affirmed it last night. I was doing a I was doing a talk for some people in my community, and I was saying that South Africa was one of the hubs. I could see it being one of the hubs for what we're doing as we're spreading around the world, along with Hawaii and Bali and beautiful places of this nature. And I have a resonance with Cape Town or with South Africa in general, and just I've been collaborating with people from there. I did a podcast back-to-back days with two different ladies that didn't even know each other in South Africa a few weeks ago, and I'm happy that you have good things to say about it. Yeah,
it's the synchronicity. Like, you're getting a message of some sort that, like, you're being supported in your vision, which is really cool. Absolutely. And Cape Town is such a magical and special place, and I think that, like, Table Mountain is an energy vortex of some sort, like powerful energy vortex here on Earth, because every time I go there, I just have massive shifts.
I love it. And you highlighted so beautifully right there as far as what we've been talking about. Like, when we can allow the plot to the movie, just how I describe it, to fill in, like, when it's time, like, without trying to, like, go from the scene that you're on right now to the end of the movie, like, today. Like, that's just none of us signed up for that. Like, we think that we want all the things that we want as far as relationships and health and money, like, right here and now. And I'm sure everybody, if you could, like, check the box, yes, have it all, everything that you desire right now, I'm sure most people would probably check yes. I probably would even check yes. But just realizing that the journey is, in truth, it's why we came here, and to be able to evolve and to be able to experience and just to see how it fills in. Like, that's the fascinating parts of life, to just see how it's all going to unfold. And so
absolutely,
yeah, I love how you describe that. And just when we're ready for it, like, we'll receive it. When we're ready for it, we'll see it. Like, when we're ready for it, we'll have the idea, and then we can feel really good taking that inspired action from that idea, which creates momentum. And all physical manifestation is, for any of us, if we're talking about creating something that right now doesn't exist in the physical, is just, it starts with a thought and an idea, which now there's a spark, there's some energy there. And maybe you don't know how to unfold the whole physical manifestation right here and now, but if we put some more attention and energy, and we'll get more inspired ideas and more synchronicities of people, places, ideas, and circumstances that we need to have the whole physical manifestation unfold. Then we put enough energy in anything, we're going to have physical manifestation. And so that's how everything that we see in this physical world has come to be. It started with just a thought, a vibration, and then all of a sudden energy was put into it, and then enough energy, it's going to be physical. And so that's, I love how you describe that.
Absolutely. It's so true. Like, if we did know our path and we had everything lined up in front of us, like, what fun would that be? The exciting part about life is, like, being open and getting these downloads and having these experiences where, like, we don't know what's going to happen next. And that's what makes it really cool and exciting. And if you can see that as, like, opportunity for growth and change and magic, then, like, that is the vibration that you want to align with. Knowing that we have the power to create whatever we want out of these visions. If you can envision it, you can imagine it, you can create it, you can manifest it. That's just the truth. It's like, when I always tell my clients, like, I do a lot of visioning exercises with my clients and having them kind of, like, imagine what life and what reality, what they want to be their reality in the next year or the next few months or the next few years. And knowing that as we are envisioning that, like, we are locking that vision into place, and we're, like, tasking our subconscious mind and the universe to help us, like, fill in the blanks until we get there. So we're so much more powerful than we imagine, and that's just another thing that I'm really passionate about, is getting people to recognize their power.
I love it. I'm so excited for you, Arielle, and for everybody out there that is enjoying. It's obvious that you're enjoying the journey, and not that we'll enjoy every second of every day of our journey. I'm just saying, just in general, enjoying the unfolding. Like, we're happy about the direction that we're going. Like, we're excited to see it unfold, and we're embracing the challenges, and at the same time, like, we're excited for the synchronicities, and we're focusing on what we can control, which is this moment right now, and the vibe and the energy and the mood we bring to it. And if for any of us out there that can truly enjoy the journey, life could just be one just enjoyable journey where, yeah, when you get to the manifestation that you want, whether it be the relationship or the health or the financial goal, whatever, yeah, you'll be excited. You were excited before that though. and then you'll have, by the time you have that physical manifestation, there's going to be other things where it's like, now my life has shown me that I want to see these things evolve. And then you'll continue on your journey. And so really it truly is about the journey, because that's all that ever exists. Like, we're always on the journey, and the moment of the journey is always now. So for those that can really master the moment and just, wherever you are, no matter what it is that you desire out there, if you can be connected right now, it's going to be a pretty cool moment of life. If you're at peace, good moment. If you're happy, good moment. And not to label good or bad, but if you're an enjoyable moment, a moment that all of us would consider, this is a cool moment. Like, I'm happy, I'm at peace, like, I'm chilling. And if you think about it, if you have enough like cool moments like in a day, you had a pretty good day. Like, it's been a good day. Like, I've been in a good mood all day and all these things, and you have enough really good days, and you're like, wow, this has been an awesome week. Awesome synchronicities, awesome experience, ideas. Like, I feel like I'm moving towards my journey, and that's all that life really is. I mean, string together enough weeks, we've had a great 2020. And some of you out there might be like, it's been a rough 2020 so far with everything going on. It's still optional how you get to experience your 2020, regardless of what's going on in the collective. Like, I'm not saying that it has to be like the most blissful time of your life, but you could have blissful moments for sure. I've had blissful moments during this whole quarantine period and all this stuff. So, what do you have to say about that? I could sense
even in this quarantine, like, I was thinking about it. I was reflecting on that today as I was like getting ready for the day. I was like, wow, like, so much has unfolded for me just in the past month with my business, with new ideas I've had, new projects I've been creating that I would have never imagined being in my reality 2 years ago. And I'm just so grateful for that. Even though quarantine has been challenging in many ways for everyone, there's still really positive things, so many positive learnings that we can take away from this time, and that are ultimately going to serve us and help us really like tap into that next level version of ourselves. So even though quarantine has been really challenging, I am really grateful for just having this extra time to go inward and, spend more time with my clients and creating my dream business. So, and just so that I can help more people. So ultimately that's the goal. And I think that we can walk away from any moment in our life, no matter how challenging it is, no matter how scary it is, no matter if we fucked up, regardless of what happened, and realize that it's all just a lesson. We're never truly fucking up. That was the wrong way to put it. We're never truly fucking up. We're always just like learning something and growing from that experience. So even when times are tough, like, I tell my clients, like, what gratitude can you have for yourself at the end of today, knowing that you just experienced a pretty challenging day, or you just encountered a pretty challenging situation? What gratitude can you have for yourself right now, and just recognize some of the things that you did despite this adversity? So that's kind of what I'm trying to look at this period as right now, personally.
I love it. If you're out there right now and you're listening to this podcast, or you're doing anything where like you're making you have an intention to improve your life, to let your life evolve, like, you're winning. Like, it matters to you. And once it matters to us, that's why I love helping people become aware and the light bulb on, because then it's a forever thing. Like, it's part of the journey, like, forever. None of us are ever going to know all the secrets of the universe, not in this one life experience. Like, just won't happen. No one out there. So we're all at different places on our journey, and it's all good wherever you are. And I'm just super happy for you if it matters to you, like, what your vibe is, and you're connecting with awesome humans like Arielle and being inspired to read books or listen, anything that you feel will uplift you. And we're all different. Like, we all need different stuff for where we are on our journey. I think it's awesome, and I'm super excited for you. And one thing I will say that I've been seeing a lot on social media during this time, where we don't have all the options that we normally have as far as things that we can do with our lives, with our time. Just focus on the things that you can do, and out of those things, what sounds most expansive, most life-giving? What areas of life do you want to create some momentum in, whether it be relationships or health, or career stuff, or whatever it is? You still have things that you can do. Like, there's no one on the planet that has zero options of anything that they can do right now, because you'd just be dead. You just wouldn't be alive. So if you're alive, like there's things that you can do, especially like right now, if you're listening to this and you're hearing me say this, like this is one of your options and you're choosing to do that. So out of the options that we do have, how can we like make the most of it? How can we, experience it like fully present? How can we see what's meant? What does the universe want me to see in this element of my life, like right here and now? I love asking questions like that, not even verbally, but just out of curiosity. Like if a person comes into my life, like what's here for me? What does the universe want me to see or share with them? Or like what's this life experience all about? Like I love living life from a place of curiosity. And we can apply that to every area versus thinking, I've been seeing so many people do this and I'm not making you wrong for it. This is a great recipe to not feel so good, is thinking about all the things that you can't do right now. Like if I sat here and dwelled like all day long on how much I would really love going to the gym, which I really would love going to the gym. Like I love going to the gym. I've been working out since I was 13. It's really fun. I haven't been in the gym in months and it's all good. I mean, I'm not thinking about the gym and letting myself say, oh my gosh, like I haven't got on a scale on purpose like the whole time this quarantine, because you guys might not be happy with me out here, but we all have different things when we look in the mirror. If I don't lift weights, then I lose lots of weight. And I don't like that just as much as you out there might not like gaining a bunch of weight by not working out. So we're in the same boat. It's just different, different expression. So knowing that, I'm not getting on the scale right now. It just doesn't matter to me. Like I'm doing what I can do with the things that I can do. So that's
we need to like recalibrate according to what's going on in our environment. I love the way you put all that. I don't know if you've ever read the book Many Lives, Many Masters, but it was like one of the first books around like spirituality and reincarnation that I ever read, and it was so mind-blowing for me, and it really opened up my world, and it changed the way I look at every connection, like you were just talking about, like, ooh, like who's this new soul, and like what reason are they coming into my life right now? And just like going into every connection with that curiosity of like, we're here to help each other in some way. And how can I like help support this person's journey? How can they support mine? And how can we like give back to one another in that way? And it's just so cool to look at life from that lens of like gratitude and curiosity and openness, and just really think about the bigger picture. We can get so caught up in the small picture and the minute details of everything, but when we really zoom out, like everything's okay, and this is all just happening to teach us something. So I love the way you put that.
I appreciate you affirming that, and we're just mirroring each other right now. This whole conversation, just reflecting each other. Beautiful soul. I appreciate you so much. Arielle,
I appreciate you so much.
It's been so much fun. I love this conversation. The last question I have, unless you inspire me to say something else, which you probably will, but knowing that the internet is going to live for quite some time, it seems, and someone could be listening to this live right now when it's released in a couple of weeks on iTunes and Spotify and all these places, or 50 years from now, they could be attracted to this episode. Probably won't need a computer screen, probably have some other way to listen and to watch. So that's awesome, however you guys are viewing and listening 50 years from now. But anything that you want to share, and you've been doing it the whole time, that whenever someone is attracted to this episode, you feel like it would make an impact on them, and literally could be anything, and you've been doing it the whole time. So anything else that wants to flow out of you?
I think just like for some reason this is coming through right now, but just the message that you are capable. I know that early on in my journey, I never thought I was capable. I never thought that I would be in the place that I'm at today. I never thought that I would be out and proud and living as a self-love and sexuality coach for the LGBTQ community. I never imagined that I'd have "not your average lesbian" written in my bio. I would say, absolutely, hell no, that's never happening. So I think just my message right now is to know that you are so infinitely capable of absolutely everything you dream of. And that the universe will support you if you are courageous. The universe will support you if you are, living from your truth and your authenticity, and that you have an abundance of support around you at all times. So just to be open to that and to be open to that knowing and believing and trusting that you are capable of absolutely everything you desire.
I love that. So happy that I asked you that question and that you shared that way. And I love how we can affirm things like that, and it applies to every single human on the planet. Like that applies to all of you out there. So I love just reminding and just playfully reminding that there's no like segment of the population where they only have the ability to connect with, the divine. They only have the capability to feel happy and joyful. And you're in the segment where, you're forced to feel like miserable. Like we're all the same non-physical energy. Like we're just different expressions of it. We're all different waves in the same ocean of all that is what, if I use the ocean as an analogy, I'm here in Miami, I'd say that the ocean is representative of all that is the universe, God, universe, love, everything. And then we're just the waves. We're just expressions of that. And all of us are different expressions. Some of us are bigger and taller, or different shapes and colors, and all good. Like the waves aren't arguing with each other and thinking that wave is better because it's in the Atlantic and that wave's not as good because it's in the Pacific, or vice versa. Like, so as human beings, it's kind of silly. And you guys 100 years from now that are listening to this are probably like, hey, you guys were kind of silly back in 2020, but you guys are starting to wake up to realizing that you're not separate. You would say things like we're all connected and we're all one, but a lot of you didn't really know what that means. And we are. You guys 100 years from now, we're evolving into that, and with people like Arielle and everything that that we're doing, all of us collaborating together, we are remembering who all of us truly are, and it's a beautiful world that we're creating together right now. And I'm just happy to be a part of it, a co-creator in it. And as long as I'm breathing, I'll make sure that everybody can have that wake-up moment as much as I can share, and keep collaborating with awesome humans like you, Arielle. And anything you want to share with people as far as what you're doing or how they could work with you, or anything that you want to promote to the audience, please feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. And I second everything that you just said. But yeah, there's various ways that you can work with me. If you are curious and about connecting, or you want to work together, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram is also the same as my TikTok. If you're on TikTok and you want to reach me there, that's cool too. It's just at Arielle D'Angelo. But my current signature program is called Unleashed and Empowered. And that's all about peeling back the layers around your sexuality and getting you to a place where you are free of shame, free of guilt, free of fear around your sexual expression, and really tapped into your highest self and the most, full expression of yourself and your sexuality. So I'm currently in the middle of running the first round of that program right now. It's going so beautifully. It's such an amazing community of people that have come together to do this work together, to transform together. And again this summer. So that's my signature program. I also am in the process of creating many amazing different projects for the LGBTQ community specifically. I also host free events called the Rainbow Room that I'm having one this Sunday with 45 beautiful souls that will be joining me on our Zoom call on Sunday, just looking to connect with others in that community. But I'm always creating new things, and there's always so many different ways to work with me. So feel free to shoot me a DM if you are ready to, get to that next level and really start living an authentic life that's aligned with your truth.
I love it. I love it so much. You guys definitely connect with Arielle on social media, and if you're watching this one, it's already out. All her links are easily accessible, and I'm just super excited that I know you exist now, Arielle. And for everybody out there, it's always a really great idea if you're ever curious or you have like an energetic nudge to do anything, whether it be follow someone or work with someone or whatever it is. It's a really good next step on our journey, and you can trust that if it feels expansive, then it's something that will provide huge value for you on your life experience where you are. Your movie screen will fill in beautifully in the scenes to come if you follow those inspirations. And so I highly recommend, connecting with Arielle, and just thank you so much for coming on and sharing your beautiful energy with all of us today. It's been a conversation I would have wanted to have with you anyway, and I'm just happy that it's recorded so that it can be shared, and those of you guys out there can discover it whenever you are drawn to it, whenever you are here, and in whatever way you're listening to it, and whatever time you're here on this planet. So
Yes, thank you so much, Noelle. This has seriously it's been such an honor to be here with you. I'm so grateful that we are now connected, and I look forward to having many more of these amazing, enlightened conversations with you. And I'm so grateful that like your community is listening to this, and my community is listening to you speak, and it's just awesome to collaborate with another amazing soul who's looking to spread that love and light. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. Definitely the first collaboration and the first of many more. I'm already affirming that as well. So
Yes. Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes, absolutely.
You guys share this episode out there. It'll be impactful for sure for everybody that is inspired to listen. And thank you guys that have been rating and reviewing and subscribing to the podcast. It's been making it easier and easier for people to find these beautiful episodes. And there's no one review limits on any of the sites, I've been told. So you can leave another review on iTunes and say that Arielle Human was awesome. And I learned this, this, and this, and she inspired me in this way. And I'll screenshot it as that. And I know she'll appreciate that as well, as much as I will. And you guys, definitely sending you so much love and light out there whenever you're hearing this. We're all in this co-creation, beautiful co-creation called life together. And just excited to see where it's all going right now in 2020 and beyond, as long as we're all here. So thank you guys out there. We'll talk to you soon in another episode. Appreciate you guys that are tuning in live, and I'll be doing more of these live here really soon. You can click that link in there, and even though it's already over when you see this, as far as the Arielle podcast, if you click that and register, I'll send you updates when I'm doing more live here soon. And appreciate you all. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Awesome. So much fun.
Yay! Thank you so much.